Hi guys, I hope you all are doing well. We are here to read chapter 4 of the Menagerie. And just to recap chapter 3, Logan was at home and he discovered a creature, an animal that was under his bed. It was half bird, half lion. Um, and as he was kind of trying to communicate with this creature, two of his friends from school, or classmates from school, Zoe and Blue, were approaching his house. So let's see what happens in chapter 4. More feathers! Zoe's anxious voice floated through the window. That's all we're ever going to find. Maybe this is my fault. Snappa's going to shut us down, and Dad will ground me for life, and everyone will have to be relocated, and I'll never see you, or Captain Fuzzbutt, or Moon Crusher ever again. On the plus side, maybe they'll send Kiko back to Japan, said Blue. This isn't funny, Blue. Zoe paused. Well, okay, that would be the one upside. We don't know it's your fault, Blue said kindly, and it's not so bad. No Snappa officials are out hunting them yet, and we haven't seen any wildlife guys stomping around investigating. We just have to find them all before Sunday. Them? Logan glanced at the scarp-shaped lump on his head. On his bed, sorry. Why aren't you more worried? Zoe asked. If Snappa shuts us down, who knows what'll happen to your dad, or where they might make you live. There was that word again. Snappa. Not Snapple, Logan thought. Blue shrugged. I only worry about things that have actually happened. If I started worrying about all the things that might happen, I'd be like you. And that's good advice. Try not to worry about things that haven't happened yet. Yeah, thanks, Zoe said. She sighed. This one must be long gone. Let's check in at home, Blue said. Okay, said Zoe, sounding defeated. I still have to do my chores anyway. But if any of them are spotted... I know, Blue said. It'll be the end of the world. Again. Logan heard them pick up their bikes and pedal away. His head was spinning. Scorp poked his beak out from under the covers. Worry Cub gone? His voice warbled in Logan's head. Worry Cub? Only a cub, but worries and double checks and worries more. Always flapping her paws, but not trying to fly. Probably losing her fur. Bites her claws, too. That sounded like Zoe, all right. Scorp, Logan said. You're Zoe's dog? The griffin threw off the comforter and ruffled his tawny feathers into an indignant fluff on his chest. Scorp, no such thing. Muscles and Killer and Jaws and Sheldon all dogs. Captain Fuzzbutt all Zoe's. Scorp neither Zoe's nor dog. Scorp all mine and all Griffin. Well, okay, Logan said, but you're the thing she's looking for, aren't you? Scorp studied his talons intently. Oh, only one of them. How many others are there? Logan asked. The griffin squirmed. 2 brothers and 3 sisters. He swiveled his head around as if he expected them to pop out of the closet. Missed them. Well, most of them. Not Clink. She bossy. 6 griffins wandering around Xanadu? No wonder Zoe's freaking out, Logan said. He leaned over his computer and typed Snappa into Google, hoping for a clue. I bet that's even worse than losing a dog. Man, I shouldn't have let them leave all upset like that. We have to get you home. No! Scorp flung himself back under the bed. No turn me in, no send me back. Free at last, free at last. Logan hesitated. He could imagine all kinds of terrible places where griffins might be kept in captivity, studied like lab rats or trapped like dangerous wild animals. Then again, Zoe and Blue didn't exactly seem like evil government scientists. Google said Snappa was a drinking game. He guessed that wasn't what Zoe was talking about. Logan tried typing Snappa, Snapa, instead. The School Nutrition Association of Pennsylvania, he muttered, frowning at the screen. Somehow, I don't think that's it either. So Googling wasn't going to help him. He looked down at Scorp again. The griffin cub was flopped out with his front paws over his beak, making what he probably thought were despairing noises. Is it so bad where you came from? Logan asked. Oh, terrible. Never enough to eat. All stuffed in one cave. Bossed around day and night. No treasure anywhere. Dragons staring at us all the time. Logan clutched his head. Dragons? He had to sit down on the floor. Griffins were one thing. If there were dragons in this one-horse town, too, he really got Xanadu all wrong. Scorp poked his head out and tilted it at Logan. Worst of all, never enough to eat. Okay, Logan said. I get the message. I'll get you some food. He hesitated. Were griffins allowed to eat hamburgers? What if he accidentally poisoned Scorp? Logan turned back to his computer and Googled, what do griffins eat? Humans, one site offered cheerfully. Logan raised an eyebrow at Scorp. The cub didn't seem like the man-eating type. A few other websites suggested horse meat or oxen, so at least they were carnivorous. Hamburger meat couldn't be too bad for them. And treasure? Scorp chirped. Need treasure, would be best day ever. Sorry, I don't have any treasure, Scorp. Oh no, what about this? The griffin wriggled out from under the bed, dragging a shoebox with him. Logan reached for it. That's nothing. But the griffin cub batted his hand away and lifted off the lid as though it were the undisturbed tomb of an Egyptian pharaoh. He plucked out several postcards of wild jungles and vast desert landscapes. See? Treasure! Pretty! Traveled long distances to get here, yes, and carefully kept. They're really not important. Logan shoved himself to his feet. Just put them back, okay? Squirt reluctantly dropped the postcards into the box. Come on, I'll fix you some food. He heard scrabbling in the shoebox behind him as he headed for the door. But this is treasure. Squirt bounded past him and raced to the kitchen, brandishing a shiny gold object. His paws slipped on the smooth tiles, and his legs flew out from under him, sending the cub shooting across the floor to land with a thump against the cabinets. Logan reached down to help him up and saw what Scorp held. He slowly took the bracelet from the griffin. It was his mom's favorite piece of jewelry, a thin gold-linked chain with little charms dangling off it, an elephant, a bird, an anteater, a fox, a lizard, and 7 other animals. She came back from each trip with a new charm, but never took the bracelet with her, in case she lost it. Logan had this weird superstition that if she ever did come back, it would be because the bracelet was here waiting for her. Yeah, I guess this is treasure-like, but I can't give it to you, Scorp. I'm sorry. Logan pocketed the bracelet, trying not to think about his mom. Scorp's wings drooped, but he perked up right away when Logan pulled the hamburger meat out of the freezer. Cow? Scorp gurgled. All for me? All this cow? Sure, Logan said, sticking the meat in the microwave. He'd have to tell his dad he'd had a serious hamburger craving. He wondered for a brief second what his father would think of Scorp, and if he might even let Logan keep him. But that fantasy slammed into the memory of the conversations they'd had about how much work a dog would be. He could just imagine how this one would go. But Dad, it'll be way easier than a schnauzer. It's probably only going to be 9 times the size of a Newfoundland. And who wouldn't want a telepathic pet with claws and wings? Do you guys think your parents would let you keep a griffin? Mine wouldn't. Not that it was an option anyway. He had to give Scorp back to Zoe. Besides, Logan's dad worked for the Wyoming Wildlife Department. They watched out for endangered species and stuff like that. Logan was pretty sure he would want to report a real live griffin to his boss, which sounded like the worst case scenario for Zoe and Blue, and probably Scorp as well. While he was thinking, the griffin managed to hop up onto the green-tiled kitchen counter by bouncing several times on his talons and flapping his wings like mad, knocking over everything within reach. Logan rescued the salt shaker from under the kitchen island and replaced the spatulas in the utensil holder, trying not to laugh. Scorp poked the fridge with his beak. "Doesn't smell like food," he complained, or else Scorp would have checked in there. "So hungry, all day, all alone with small scritchies taunting me." He gave Logan a reproachful look. "I highly doubt Mr. and Mrs. Smith were taunting you," Logan said, "and I'm glad you didn't find the fridge because I have no idea how I'd explain to Dad why I'd eaten everything in the house." "Ah," Scorp wobbled in a tone of ancient wisdom. "Scorp know all about dads." "Tell me more about where you came from," Logan said, piling squashy, dripping meat on a paper plate in front of Scorp. What do Zoe and Blue have to do with it?" "Worry Cub and Fish Boy, they feed us." Scorp sucked up a huge mouthful of hamburger and flapped his wings with glee. "Not very well, not like this." Logan felt a surge of worry. What if griffins could only handle a small amount of food before exploding? What if you weren't supposed to feed them between noon and midnight, or else they'd try to eat people? He didn't really know anything about griffins, and since they weren't even supposed to exist, anything he'd found online could be completely wrong. "So you escaped because you were hungry?" he asked. The hamburger meat was disappearing fast. "And to find treasure." The websites Logan had scanned all said griffins were fierce protectors of their gold. It was funny to think of the little cub fiercely protecting anything, though. Scorp opened his beak wide, paused for a long moment, and then went, "Scorp!" A blast of meaty breath hit Logan in the face, and he waved his hand in the air. "Nice, Scorp," he said, "very civilized." The griffin clacked his beak, looking very pleased with himself. "Listen," Logan said, "I'd love to keep you, but I think you probably need to go home." "No!" Scorp wailed. He flopped over on the counter and covered his head with his wings. "No home, horrible place, terrible, terrible. Everyone bossing me around, keeping food from me, making me go to bed when I'm not even tired." He sounds like a toddler. "That does sound terrible," Logan said. Maybe you should take me there." Scorp stopped withering and gave Logan a sharp-eyed look. "Take you there?" "Sure." Logan tried to look casual, like he wasn't really dying of curiosity. How did Zoe and Blue keep the secret? And what else might be hidden away with the griffins and dragons? "You can show me how terrible it is." Scorp bounced back onto all fours and waved his tail like a cat. Scorp showed Logan all the dreadfulness, and the no food, and the dragons, and the tiny cave, and the no food. "Yeah, okay, sounds like a plan," Logan said, grinning at Scorp. The griffin's long curved beak did something very much like a smile. "Scorp, show Logan the menagerie." And that is the end of chapter 4. We will read chapter 5 tomorrow. I hope you guys are enjoying the book so far. I'm really curious to see what other creatures or animals are at the menagerie. But again, we will have to wait until tomorrow to find out. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye!